Hello, it's Elizabeth Busby here, the Director of Programs for the Theology of the Body Institute. Today we're going to tackle kind of a hard topic, and that is how to break up with someone. Before I jump into it, please make sure that you like this video, that you subscribe to our channel, and that you click that notification bell so you can be alerted when we have new, fresh videos for you. I also want to tell you, if you're just watching this video because you're interested, but you're actually near the start of a relationship, I did write you an ebook with 10 questions to ask at the beginning of a relationship so that you can have a good start to your relationship, but also so that you can realize if someone's not a good fit for you, you'll figure it out really quick and you won't have to go through as super agonizing of a breakup if they're not a good fit. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye. So this topic, how to break up with someone, this is one of those things that is no fun. It's not the sort of thing people really want to and spend their time thinking about until you need it. And when you need it, this is hopefully going to bless you tremendously. So I want to give some tips for how to break up with someone. It really is not the sort of thing that you can just go out and do, because you can really hurt someone if you're not careful. They'll probably be hurt anyway, but you can definitely mitigate some of that pain by being intentional. So we're going to get into it. I have 4 tips for you. The first one that I want to give you is do not wait once you know that you want to break up with them. Keep in mind that the other person may not see it coming. They may have a different opinion about the decision than you. They may think that you're a great fit for a spouse and they want to marry you. They may totally be blindsided. But if you wait and wait and wait and wait for a long time after you make the decision, they're going to feel even more betrayed than they do already. If you can, as soon as possible, talk to them, that will be much better. Once you know, once you're sure, don't just wait because you're scared. It's going to be really unpleasant. There's really no good environment to do it necessarily. Well, I guess I take that back. Don't do it in a crowded coffee shop. But other than something like that, don't do it in public. There's really not a good way to do it necessarily. There's really not a good time to do it necessarily. It's going to hurt. It's going to be hard either way. Waiting for the perfect time, trying to find the perfect time is just going to push it out. So once you know that you want to do it, just be brave, take courage, and do it. And in justice, that's the best way to make sure that that other person's heart is honored in this decision, by not just waiting until the perfect time. The second thing that I want to say is make sure that you tell them the real reason. This is one of my huge pet peeves in the Christian world, in the Catholic world, is that people blame these things on God. God told me that we need to be done with this relationship. God told me that I need to break up with you. I really felt called in my heart to end this relationship. And people use those as the reason why they're breaking up with them. And I am just going to straight up tell you, that is a cop out. That is a coward's way out.
Coward.
You may think that you are doing something noble by bringing God into the conversation, but the reality is the other person may have made a different discernment. They may think that God wants them in the relationship. They may feel that God's asking them to stay. God is not just going to straight up tell you to do this. That's just not how God works. He works through the desires of your heart. He whispers to you when you're in a state of grace, when you're in, your conscience is well formed. You can hear nudges of the Lord, but he's not just going to come burr, 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 break up with them today. That's just not how it works. You have a reason for why you're doing it. And maybe that reason is this person is leading you away from God. Great. Then yeah, of course, the Lord's going to bless the decision to not let you be pulled away from that. Maybe they're really manipulative. Maybe they're rude to you in public. I don't know. There's a bajillion reasons why you would want to get out of the relationship. And sure, the Lord blesses those things. The Lord gives you courage and confidence to do those things, to end the relationship for those reasons. But tell them the reason. Tell them the reason that you're done, the reason you don't think that they're going to be a good fit for you. And that reason is going to uphold their dignity so much more than just blanket blaming it on God. If the Lord's calling you out of the relationship, if you really feel he's calling you out of the relationship, there are reasons for it, and the other person deserves to know those reasons. So please take courage. Please just tell them. I know it feels like it will hurt them less if you don't tell them the reason, but the reality is, if you don't give them the honest truth, there's going to be this window in their heart where they're like, maybe there's hope, or maybe I can change their mind, or maybe there's something else that will make this go away, if I just do the right thing or say the right thing or find out the right reason or whatever. No, just tell them what your reason is, take courage, and move forward. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is making sure that you're mindful of who you talk to about the breakup, and what you say to those people. The people around you, your community, your friends, your family, they're really going to be looking at you to determine how to feel about this situation, right? They're going to take their cues from you. And as weird as that sounds, you hold that other person's reputation in the palm of your hand, right? It's very important that you are mindful of what you say and how you say it and who you say it to. So even if the reason is that they're a total jerk face to you, they're really rude, they're nasty, they're ugly, the way they speak is not awesome, telling a bunch of random people that fact about them probably isn't the most charitable thing to do, right? The other people, the third parties, your friends, your family, etc., they don't need all of the intimate graphic details of the relationship, of why you're breaking up with them. Select a handful of people that you really trust, that are not just going to bash the other person, that are not just going to judge the other person harshly without understanding where they're coming from or seeking to understand. Pick a select few people, talk through your decision. You can tell those select few people all of the gory details, but don't advertise it to everyone. Don't put it on social media. Don't just tell random people like, yeah, the relationship ended because of all of this awful stuff about the person. It's enough to say, yeah, I discerned that this was it. They weren't a good fit for my spouse, and that's it. Nobody is owed all of these details. And I really want to encourage you to be mindful of that other person's reputation. They're going to be hurt enough probably that the relationship's over. You also don't need to decimate their entire social circle. You can be charitable when you go about it. So just be mindful of the way you speak about them, the way you speak about why the relationship ended, the details that you share, who you share them with, etc. And the last piece of advice that I want to give you is probably the most controversial, but I firmly stand by this. Do not be friends right when you end the relationship. I know a lot of people think that it will ease the blow to maintain some sort of a relationship moving forward, even if it's platonic and not romantic. There may genuinely be this sadness in your heart about having them totally gone from your life. So you think that being friends is something that's going to make it easier. Let me talk to you for a second about why that's the case. When you're in a relationship with someone, not only are they your like romantic love interest, but they're someone you're discerning the future with, right? So you have this idea of the future, and when you're thinking about the future, they're in it with you. They're your best friend, hopefully. They've, become someone that is your number one person. They're the person you talk to about all the big things in your life. You process things with them. You share the highs and the lows, etc. And they take up a lot of your time. So a lot of your time is centered around this person. When you go through a breakup, you lose all four of those things. You lose the romantic person, right? Maybe that romance is gone already, but you do lose that element of that person in your life. You lose that image of the future, right? You have to completely reimagine what your future is going to look like without them. You lose the best friend. You no longer have that person on the receiving end of your confidences and to walk through life with. And you lose that time, that person who's filling all of your time, right? So you end up with a lot of time at the end. Because all of those things are so difficult to navigate, especially all at the same time, you can think that maybe it's easier to mitigate some of that by being friends, and some of those things won't be gone, at least. You don't have to lose them all at the same time. But I am here to tell you that a clean break will heal the best. I'm going to tell you a little story to illustrate this point. When I was in college, I played flag football. Our team was called the Destroyers, and we definitely won the intramural flag football championship at Texas A&M University in 2010. Okay, we were a big deal, and I loved it. And at one point, I was very romantically interested in one of the coaches, and so I was really interested and dedicated in doing a good job. And I went out for a play, and we were playing this team that cheated. And so they would wrap the rim of their shorts around the flags. And so it was really hard to pull. I know this may seem like it's random, but I promise you need this background to understand the story. So we were prepped to ferociously go pull these flags, even though these girls were cheating. And so I went in, and with my lack of athleticism, I went to pull the flag, and I snapped one of my fingers. It turns out that I had actually broken it. Well, because I was trying to impress this coach, I was like, I got it. I shook it off. I went back into the game, and I tried to pull flags with my left hand. And I'm sure you can appreciate I'm not left-handed. That did not go well. So I went for one flag and I snapped another finger. So now I had these two broken fingers, and it was really awful. The point of what I'm trying to tell you is the way that those fingers broke and the way that they healed demonstrated something about breakups. Do you see this finger? Do you see how this finger is like crooked? Okay, it's never going to heal because I snapped the bone diagonally, and when it healed this way. So because it was not a clean break, when it healed, it didn't actually heal cleanly, and so it's like this now forever. I'm going to show you my other finger. It's my middle finger. I promise I'm not trying to flick you off. But can you see how there's a little bit of a bump, but really when you're looking at my fingers, you can't really tell? This is the finger that I literally just clean break, like broke it across, but it healed a lot better. The point that I'm trying to make with these fingers is when you don't have a clean break in your relationship, it is not going to heal properly. And you're going to be able to see the roots, the consequences of that break for a long time. when you are willing to just cut the relationship off, right? Even though it's hard, even though it feels like being friends would be a lot smoother and easier, when you're willing to make the clean break, the heal will be a lot better. It will heal cleaner. It will heal faster. It hurts more in the moment, but in the long run, it's for the best. So in conclusion, there are 4 things that I think you can do when you're breaking up with someone that will make the experience, while horrific, it will make it a little bit easier. The first is make sure that you tell them as soon as you know that you want to end the relationship. Don't just sit on it because you're afraid or you're waiting for the perfect time. There's no perfect time. It's going to be hard. Just do it. The second thing is make sure that you tell them the real reason. Please do not blame this on God. Just tell them the reason that you have, that you're ending it. Just tell them. It'll hurt, but it'll be better than blaming it on God, because they might have a different discernment, and make sure that you just give them the reason. The third is make sure that you're mindful of how you speak about them, whom you speak about them to, what you say about the breakup, about the relationship, about why you wanted to end it. You hold that person's reputation in the palm of your hand. Please be mindful of that. And the fourth is make sure that you make a clean break, lest this be your heart. No, I'm just kidding. But make sure that you make a clean break so that you'll be able to heal faster and move on with your life quicker, and so will they. So if you have any questions or you want to talk through your situation or get my thoughts or anything like that, I really have a heart for accompanying people through this sort of thing. So leave a comment, or you can send me a DM if you want it to be a little more private. My Instagram is @discerningmarriage. So I would be happy to talk with you about your situation. I do have such a heart for accompanying people through this. So my producer's going to put that handle in the description, but you can also just message me @discerningmarriage. And I would love to accompany you through it. So until next time, stay close to the heart of Jesus and be not afraid. Bye.